It's LeGarrette Blunt here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, MicroMike, man.
Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch MicroMike on YouTube.
Calvin Johnson Jr. here, aka Megatron. Big shout out to MicroMike and YouTube channel, man.
Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Mr. MicroMike, and today we're going to talk about training camp battles, the wide receiver position. And folks, we have a lot of wide receivers, so it's going to be a good one. Before getting to the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for all of my notifications, leave me a comment and tell me what you think is going to take place with the wide receiver battle. How many wide receivers do we have, and who makes the cut? With that said, let's begin. Obviously, we got to start with the number one wide receiver. No doubt about it, Kenny Galladay. He will definitely be on the roster. 11 touchdowns last year, over 1,000 yards. This guy is a stud beast, and he is our number one. We need to extend this man. To me, that's the biggest issue going into training camp is let's extend Kenny Galladay, put him under contract for the next 5 years. It's extremely important that we have this man on the roster for the next couple of years. He is an absolute stud and beast, and he's going to have a great year, but he is our number one. Obviously, when it comes to number two, Marvin Jones Jr., he is our number two wide receiver. He had a lot of touchdowns as well, a lot of yards. This man is an absolute beast. He was a great free agent pickup after Calvin Johnson left the Detroit Lions. He has been doing well with their team. The biggest issue for him, obviously, is his injuries. Can he stay healthy a full 16 games? But thankfully, with the depth that we have at wide receiver, if he misses a game here or two, to me, it's not that giant of an issue because we have a lot of talent at this position, and he will definitely be the number two wide receiver. I think there's some questions on people's minds. Will he get traded before the trade deadline? I think that will be an issue going forward. To me, I personally don't believe so. I think he is definitely going to be on our team the full 16 games, but you just never know. The number three wide receiver, obviously, is Danny Amendola. We signed him to a contract this offseason to be back with the team from last year, over 600 yards. He was an integral part to us getting first downs. He was in there in the slot, taking all the beating, even without our good Matthew Stafford at quarterback, still doing a great job. He will be our number three wide receiver, and we need him. We need all the weapons we can get to get this offense to going forward to full drive, and so he will be our number three. Number four wide receiver, in my opinion, is Marvin Hall, deep ball Hall. This guy, we picked him up last year out of nowhere, and he is catching everything in his way. He's a matchup nightmare because he's our number four wide receiver. Not a lot of teams have number four cornerbacks that can implement his type of speed and his ability to get open in separation. Before he joined the Lions, the issue was his catch ability, but now he seems to have corrected that with the Lions and catching everything in his path, catching everything that comes to him, and it's always the deep ball pass. He is definitely being a quality asset to our offense. Thank you, Darrell Bevel, for finding this guy. Thank you, Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn, for finding this guy and adding him to our squad because he is going to help us win this year in 2020. Our number five wide receiver, in my opinion, this is where the battles begin, guys, and that is Quintus Cephas. We drafted him in the 5th round this year. He is very close to like an Anquan Bolden type. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's very physical. Again, you talk to Jeff Okudah. He said that was the hardest wide receiver he went against, and that was before he even got drafted by our Detroit Lions. So for me, he will be a good piece for us to be utilized. Eventually, to me, be a replacement for Danny Amendola, a guy who can just get up in there and be gritty. Now this is really where it gets interesting here because we have a ton of wide receivers going for that 6th spot. Let's start with Geronimo Ellison from the Green Bay Packers. He's 6'3", he's a big body. In there, he is going to be competing to make the roster. He is going to be competing with a lot of assets. Now he has a lengthy resume in regards to being a wide receiver with the Green Bay Packers. He's been utilized in a lot of spots. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, though, because he's competing with Travis Fulgham, his second year. He's 6'2". He's another big guy. These guys are competing for that 6th spot. We got to talk about Chris Lacey as well. He's the other big guy on this team, competing for that 6th spot, second year. Last year, we got both of those guys. We'll see if they can make the squad. And also another big guy we have, Jeremy Davis. He's 23. He's 6'3", out of the Los Angeles Chargers competing. There's a lot of big guys competing for this spot. We'll see who can get it. This is very interesting to me. A lot of big guys competing for one spot, in my opinion. We also got to look at the smaller guys who's competing for that slot receiver. We'll talk about Tom Kennedy. He's 5'10". He is a smaller 190-pound man. He's looking for that slot spot for our team. We'll see if he can get it. Personally, I don't believe so. And we got Victor Bolden to round this bad boy up. For the small spot, he's 175 pounds. He's another small guy trying to get in that slot spot. And of course, the newly wide receiver, and that's Jamal Agnew. He is competing as well for a wide receiver. He was utilized, obviously, as our kick returner. He was a cornerback, and we kind of used him a little bit in the jet sweep type area. He is competing for that final spot, in my opinion, to join the wide receiver core. I'm not sure. I don't believe he's going to make it. We just got too many wide receivers on this squad. A lot of competent wide receivers. I believe it's going to go like this: Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones Jr., Danny Amendola, Marvin Hall, Quintus Cephas, and maybe a Geronimo Ellison if we decide to go 6. With that said, folks, tell me what you think. Who is going to make the squad at the wide receiver position? The great battle going forward to get those final spots. With that said, folks, adios.